Hello and welcome in this tutorial about After Effects. So in this tutorial we're gonna take a look at the famous software After Effects. This software is what we call a compositing software. So it go at the end of the pipeline about creating images and work with finished images, finish with your render, with movies, with MP4s, lot of clips, every type of video stuff and sequence of images. So this is the default layout when you're gonna open the software. This is the first display. So classic stuff about the file here, import, export, save. You have some scripts, editing, same stuff. You can purge the memory here. Very important when you feel like you have memory running out of cache. Select this, up disk cache, pretty good. And you can look at the new composition, layers, effects, animation, the window side. You can always come back to the classic one here if you go to workspace and you do reset default, and you're gonna back to this default one. Okay, so welcome to the After Effects world. This is very complete tool. You have so many ways to do the same thing. You have many way of work on this. So yeah, we're just gonna start with a classic clip. So let's just put, I'm just gonna put my last Photoshop course here. So just load any type of video on you here. So I drag and drop here. You can also double click on the left. So all this is in the project window here, and you can select something maybe you want to work with. So let's see here, there's a render sequence of image, and I have here. So when you load a sequence of image, you see you click on one image and you say PNG sequence because you recognize the padding. That's why the padding is important. It's for the software to recognize the sequence, and you know from 000 to 0049 you have a sequence of image of 49 image or more like 50 image here. Okay, when you do a right click here, you can go and interpret the footage main, and here you're gonna have a window saying you the frame rate, so number of image per second, and that's something pretty important. You want to make sure all your footage are the same frame rate. So as you see here, they are here frame rate, so you can know you're sure like this is close, this is okay, and they can work together without having one faster than the other. So that's the way to do that. You can create a composition. So a composition is here on the bottom, is the area when you're gonna have your footage, the effect, the timeline, and everything. So we're just gonna drag and drop this in this little clip here. You see here, and when we are here, basically gonna create this composition based on the footage you drag and drop. So you can see you put the name of the sequence here, and here you can do composition settings, and you see the size of the image, the frame rate, the start, the duration, and everything, and all these parameters are based on the footage you drop. If you dropped something smaller, like if I drop this one here, and I do the composition settings, I can see now the width and the height are the same of the video. So here, this is some data here, and this is for the sequence of PNG, so you see very different, and same for the frame rate, same here, very different frame rate. So just taking course this, and you can always change this. If you put, for example, like 2K here, you see now this this layer is inside here because now it's a bigger stuff. So here it's what you're gonna render. It's basically the view of what you're working on. So we're just gonna Control Z and stay at this format, and yeah, so that's it. We have here the stuff. We can hide, show, allow the sound if there is sound on the clip, if this is a sequence video. So now I'm gonna just drag and drop here stuff on the composition side, so you have my stuff I did on the other way here. But this is a sequence of image, so there is no sound. Here there is the sound, and you see this little triangle here again, and you can work with like the scale of the composition. You can work with the rotation. You see, you can rotate the footage. position and everything. You can also be here, move it, scale it, press shift to keep the proportion, press control to control just the size. So this is something you want to work with when you move stuff, and you see it's interacting in real time here. Same for the scale, you can see it's putting a different scale with like proportion and everything. Okay, so this is the way to like just move a bit in After Effects. As well, you want maybe here to play with the audio. Here you have the waveform, you have the level of audio, maybe you want this to be higher or lower volume, so it depends of what you're looking for and stuff like this. Okay, so when you have one stuff in top of the other, as Photoshop we have fusion mode, we can screen the footage, we can do like overlay, we can do like difference, we can do like subtraction. So if we go a bit further in here, maybe we can do color, any type of stuff. Yeah, it was very short footage, so we're just gonna go here, and here we can see you have many way of work, always based on the fusion modes. So fusion modes, always a good tool to have, always good to know you can do this kind of stuff. So here you have like this kind of circle and the link. So we're gonna go a right click and we can click some stuff here. So we can do text, we can write hello, put this whatever we want on the composition. We can create as well some solids, like a black solid seeing all the frames. So this is just a black solid, nothing special, it's just a constant color. You can use it to show, to hide, to do some effect as well. You can create some light, some cameras, we're not gonna see that in this chapter. Adjustment layer to add some effects and stuff like this. Okay, you can hide, move, parent, everything. So this is the way to create stuff here. As well, you can like here in this little area, if you want this to be only on the, it's not on the alpha, but this be on the alpha of the solid, you can see now based on the solid here, this is what we're gonna reveal from the stuff. So it's saying here, I want to appear only on the alpha mate of the black solid, or I want to appear in the opposite. So it's just as a mask, you know. So this is the way you can work as well with some masking and stuff. So always take case of studies, be mindful of what you want to do, what you need. Here is the timeline, you see. So if we scroll, we do alt and scroll out, you can see the whole timeline of the Lux tutorial. So it's taking in account all the stuff I put here. And imagine we want to cut the video here and we just want to render this part. We can press N, or just take the blue here and move it further here. We can pin it with shift, so it's locking to the blue stuff. The blue stuff is just seeing which frame are we reading. I'm reading the frame 1, so this is frame 0, this is frame 961. So all this based on the 29 seconds frame per second. Okay, if you want to cut this footage, you can do Control Shift D, and now you're cutting. So if you here and you do like, you can do some time here, you can stretch, you can transform, you can switch. There is many way to work on all this. Okay, so you do Control Shift D. Now you cut it there, so it's the same video, same content, but what happened is like maybe you want to have a gap into. So imagine we are here, Control Shift D, and we cut, and now in this image we have nothing, you know. So we're just saying at this moment we don't have access to this and to this, so this is a black screen. If I put this on the left, we're gonna see it's like the video is playing, and we can just fix it here. Okay, so this is one way to work with the composition, play with the time and enjoy some, you know, like some movement and some stuff on the composition. So you can always play with the sound, the visibility, the speed. So if you want to play with the speed, for example, you right click, you go into time, and you do like a time stretch. And now the time stretch is saying, oh, what do you want? If you want 80% of stretches, you're gonna go faster. And if you put 120, it's gonna be lower, and it's gonna add new image if you see here, or remove image if you do like a stretch factor very, very fast. Okay. Now, if you want to play this, you can press 0.
So first we're gonna
so there is some music, some sound. So we're just gonna remove the sound for the tutorial. So we're gonna press 0 again, and now we can see there is this green stuff here charging. So this is a buffer. This is saying all in the green area is ready to be computed, ready to be read. And if you press 0 again, you're gonna press this play very fast because it's already cached. And now when you're gonna arrive at the end, you're gonna be like, oh, we're lacking some content, we're lacking some material, so now we're gonna compute a bit more. So the video gonna stop, and they're gonna come back to this, compute this, and you can see again, you can do it, and it's just gonna try to increase the stuff here. So when you arrive it, it's like a buffer, and you can continue reading without interruption. If you press play, space is the same but without computing. So it's just 0 is just to say I want to compute during the reading. Okay, so keep this in mind. This is the green stuff here. This blue stuff is just to say what we are reading, but it's also saying what we're gonna render at the end. So you have to make sure when you do a render, so to go in the render mode, you go here and you do like pre-render. So what happened is like the pre-render here is taking into case all this area. So here, the shape of this, like if you set up your render, is gonna render in between here and here. So maybe it's not what you want, you know. So just taking care, like this is the way you want to play with. You want to see like, okay, this is my actual way to work. So you have like here, this is the area. Maybe you want to go at the start here or at the end. Okay. Now what we want to do, we want to maybe add some effects on our image. So we can do a right click here, new adjustment layer. And the adjustment layer is this one, purple, light purple, saying, okay, here you can put any type of effect on it and it's gonna affect everything on below. So imagine this is a layer stack as Photoshop or as other type of layer softwares. This is on top, so it's gonna affect all the rest. What about the effects? So After Effects is renowned for all the number of many type of effects, really good in this tutorial, in this software. So we go here, effect and presets, and now you have access to a lot of stuff here. You can as well go here and see all the effects you have access to. So you have the 3D channel, some maps, some stuff based on audio, you can blur, you can sharpen, you can work on the channels, you can remove some stuff, you can color correct, color balance, hue, saturation, gamma, all the way you can trick an image is on those effects. You can cover kind of everything we used to use in the industry to work on images, and that's really good. And you can also do some keying if you want to like track some footage, track some stuff in the space from a movie or something. So a lot of effects here. We don't gonna cover all the effects, just you know they are here, so we're just gonna do for the sake of showing a little hue saturation here. So we are on this one, effect, color correction, hue saturation, and now we have on the side of the project we have the effect here. If you don't see that, it means you're here. You have to be like in the stuff here, and you're like, oh, I have an effect here, and when you double click, now you're gonna reveal here, and you can see saturation, light, hue. So this is all about this one. If you hide it hide the whole effect. If you cut it, so Ctrl Shift D, selecting this, so it's cutting here, you like, oh, at this frame we don't want anymore the effect, you know. And if you want it all the way, you can see that, and the effect is staying. Okay, After, you can also reduce the opacity of the effect, so it's taking all the batch of effects here and putting a offset on it, so it can be useful to like judge the effect if it's too much, too less. And after, you can as well work on like this scale. Maybe you want this to be just affecting this area, so basically the square of this is affecting just this. Or if you want, you can do some proper mask like Photoshop. So now if you want to do some mask, we select this, we go on the pen tool, for example, we select this area, and now as you see there is now a mask here, some properties on the mask. You have the path, so this is the path what I was drawing, and you can work with the feather. You see like feathering in, very sharp, very feather. Okay, and you can work on opacity, max expansion. Every type of effect you put on something are here. If you go here, you have the mask, so you hear mask, but you have also the effect, the transform of the layer. So all this is the base you have to understand to work with. Okay, so we're just gonna take a break on here. I'm gonna continue showing you more After Effects on the next video, and just have an overview of like playing around, adding some stuff on the project, adding some stuff here on the composition, and just do like some tests, maybe add an effect on top, maybe add a solid or adjustment layer. But that's the way to open and start on the software. Thanks for watching.